back to us at all?
Nope. Nothing yet.
Okay.
Alright. I'm going to reload our settings here because we should be broadcasting at this point.
Shoot me a link too when you got a sec.
Yeah, you can just do, Boy, yeah, you're still, like, bright and pasty white, dude. There you go. I'll get, I will alert Twitter as well.
Alright. Yeah, I can't. I don't know what I can do to turn down the light here, but I'll do what I can.
Well, can you, like, position your monitor so it's not blasting you right in the face?
Yeah, that's when I'm gonna do some low tech.
Nothing but a well-oiled machine for Pro Wrestling X.
Yeah.
We gotta get, I gotta get the Google Plus thing going. That's gonna be much easier.
Yeah.
But,
Think so?
yeah, I think that'll end up being much easier. Alright. You have to turn down
Mute.
your volume as well so that you're not broadcasting
Yeah.
over...
Mute, diddly mute.
there you go. Or even, you may even just want to stop the video so that it doesn't stream like crazy.
Because, yeah, I don't have to be playing the actual stream to get the chat room, right?
Absolutely not.
Alright, cool.
Because you've
They
got
were
your own
laughing.
login for that, all that stuff, right?
Sure. Alright. Did you post anything to Facebook?
I didn't post anything to Facebook. I am posting something to Twitter right now.
Alright, I will do Facebook right now.
Okay, posted. Let's see if there's anybody even in chat just yet. We got one guy here in chat, but that's all right. I'm sure they'll pick up steam later. And this is, like I said, we're recording and everything here tonight. I've got the video archiving like we should have had last time, so
Okay,
should
right
be good
on.
to go.
Yeah, because Twitch only saves these for what, a month?
Not even. It's a week, 10 days at the most. So I've got all our stuff connected to our new Pro Wrestling X channel, and you can just—it's a one-click. You just upload right to channel right from Twitch. So that is a good thing. That is a good thing.
Well, ain't technology grand? Boom, boom.
I'm dropping a lot of frames here tonight. I wonder if I'm going to have to shut some stuff
Yeah.
down.
Now, why am I not signed in? Interesting.
It's always wonderful to get the these first few minutes out of the way. Hey, what are you doing? You got this thing turned on yet? Just nothing but a well-oiled machine. Some of these other people in chat, it's just like...
It's giving me wrong password for Twitch. Of course it is. Alright. Didn't I have this exact same problem last time?
I think so. Oh, for crying out loud, why did that...
Great, my cat has come to join us, so this should be good. Past broadcast.
Yep, nothing but a well-oiled machine.
Oh yeah, we're rocking.
Stop that video.
We're coming, everybody.
Damn it, Tigers. I've got the Tiger game going on in the background. They're losing to the Twins. Bunch of crap. Did you post something to Facebook?
I did.
Okay.
Now I'm just trying to get my damn password from Twitch.
Do you have one as a personal account?
No, I just got the one I signed up with when we opened the Twitch. So.
Oh, well,
There
that's
we
probably
go.
way different because that's
Yeah.
don't be resetting any of that stuff, pretty please. So yeah, man, it was pretty sad last week when Alex took off. I had to sit there and just like entertain the masses myself, and that was absolutely zero fault, or there's zero entertainment value. I literally had an instance of the game popped up, and I was sitting there like with one hand, like cruising the guy around so it looked like they were like playing each other. I was like, jeez. Ghetto.
That's bad.
But-
So hey man, I've got my my Pro Wrestling X Dave username here for Twitch, and it's not accepting what I'm sure is my password. So I was going to reset it, but that's not going to bork everything, is it?
No, because I don't. That's a different account. That's ours is Pro Wrestling X Game.
Okay, cool.
So
I'm
you
resetting.
do what you got to do. Do what you got to do, and turn down your monitor because you look like Casper.
Yes, yes indeed. Let's see what I can do here. Do 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 do.
I said, even if we get low turnout tonight, that's all right. Like I said, there's a bunch of stuff I was going to talk about here tonight. We got to talk about Vern Gagne at some point here tonight too.
I know, eh? It's not a bummer, and I'm surprised it's not getting. Well, I guess.
Oh,
I
well, I
thought-
mean, it depends on where you are in the world. My friends are in
Yeah.
Minnesota, and it's like front page news, and it's leading all the television networks and all that kind of stuff
Oh,
because
okay,
that's the old AWA stomping grounds. And
Yeah.
I have to be honest with you,
That's
part of
what
me
I
thought he was already dead. I mean, isn't that terrible that you can't even keep track
That
of
is
like,
terrible.
who's
I
it's that whole Dead Alive or Canadian game.
Yeah. That is terrible, man. Jesus.
But yeah, it's a sad one because he's one of those guys that Vince McMahon gets all the adoration and all the love, but for crying out loud, Vern Gagne built essentially what amounted to early WWE.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So he never really got enough credit. Plus, the guy was a beast of an athlete. You look what he did. There you are.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Actually, one of my favorite WWE documentary DVDs was the one they did on AWA, man.
Yeah, that was a great DVD. I liked that one.
Really well done. You can tell which ones they spend time on and which ones they kind of
Well, and you had to because, like I said, that was his whole early. When he took over, when Vince took over the world, he pretty much raided all their talent. You had the Hulkster, you had Gene Okerlund, you had all those guys came right out of AWA.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure there was some bitterness there, if I remember correctly.
Well, and I think there was heat for a while, but I think I said everybody kind of gets over it. But yeah, Gagne was all over it. He was on top of nationwide broadcasting. He was on top of television production. He was on top of all that stuff. So it was definitely a great thing. And like I said, he kind of set the standard for at least a lot of things. I think doesn't nearly get enough credit. Al Genericos is like play. Yeah, we're working on that. Alex is our animation guy, the one that provides all the entertainment is en route. So
Yeah, if I boot up the build and you try switching to me, it's gonna completely crap out, isn't it?
I don't think so, but I don't know what your build is the same thing as my build. I could just launch mine.
Yeah, I guess.
And do the same thing, but we'll give Alex a few more minutes if he's not here. We'll figure out something else. So.
All right, Alex confirmed that he was going to drop it in. So
Yep. Probably just run a little
he
late.
actually, he actually had a list of topics he wanted to perhaps discuss as well.
Well, he's too young to remember Vern Gagne anyway.
Yeah, I know, eh? Jeez. Well, Vern handed over the territory. His son was champion more often than not, right? And he did the classic thing most promoters get criticized for is keeping the belt on family, right? But
yeah,
that kind of thing. Who else went through AWA? That was
Henning was AWA. Heenan was AWA. Let's see. I believe Kamala was AWA.
Oh yeah.
We had who else? There was a whole slew of them. I mean, there really was. It was just a big giant talent raid, and it was pretty much everybody. It was an all-star lineup back in the day. Like Bad News Allen. At the time he became Bad News Brown. I believe he was AWA. Yeah, there's a whole slew of them. And he trained a bunch of those guys too.
Yeah. I'm just starting to get caught up. I finally sprung for the WWE Network up here in Canada, which is, even though it's a horrific rip-off compared to what you guys get on demand services and that in the States, even the combination of just having the channel with a PVR is giving me more wrestling than I can watch. So
it's fun. I got to tell you, if you can work your way through. I don't know do you get the old primetime wrestlings with Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon?
They're broadcasting that on PVR.
My goodness, that is right there worth the price of admission alone for me. I love those old.
Tuesday night.
I never watched Tuesday Night Titans. There was never enough wrestling for me. It was just but now I can watch it, and it is just
it's a talk show, right? That's the McMahon's talk show.
That's exactly right.
Isn't that oh God, it's hilarious to watch, and even stuff like Stone Cold's podcasts they've been playing. I finally watched McMahon's that he did back in November, and surprisingly candid.
Yeah,
so I'm really digging
Cena's. I know Cena's and Jericho's was great. I thought. I still like Cena. I don't care what anybody says. I know, but I like him. I think he's smart about the business, and I think he gets it, and he's got roots. I think he's legit. But,
so why do you think he's getting heat from the so-called smart fans? What's the hate on Cena?
The hate on Cena is that his gimmick hasn't changed in 12 years. That he's always been unstoppable babyface. Because they said, like Hogan's entire babyface run, that thing that like we all grew up on, was like 7.5 years, and Cena's at year 12. And I think that's kind of what people are beefing about. That is just there's no evolution. He never loses, that kind of stuff. And I get it, and that's fair. But I think he puts people over.
That's all he's doing.
And the whole thing about him not being able to wrestle and all that stuff, that's garbage. He's got a springboard stunner. Have you seen this thing he rolled out the last few pay-per-views?
I have.
It's a very interesting move. It's a tough one to pull off, but good for him for trying it.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? I don't know. He's a company man. Seems to be a model employee. Does what he's asked to do, and I thought he's been like eating it hard lately and putting people over. I mean, how much more can he get beat up?
Well, he's been beating up Rusev like crazy here lately.
Yeah, well, that's good. God, I can't believe that the age-old USA gimmick still fucking works. Can you believe it?
Well, I don't know if it's working, but it's definitely still active.
Well, somebody in creative thinks it's working because they won't stop doing it. So.
Yeah, I think it's a cheap way to get the U.S. title over, which is I'm good with. Anything that gets the titles over, I'm fine with. But they had a good. I missed most of it. They had the King of the Ring over the last 2 nights. They started it on Raw, and then finished it tonight on the network. And good old Bad News Barrett is now sporting the crown and the cape, and it looks pretty good on him.
That's cool.
They've been trying to push that Neville from NXT. He's been lighting it up and getting some good action going. So
I'm digging NXT, man. I tell you, I don't know what it is about that just product, but it's fresh. It's fun to watch.
Well, it's a different mentality. It's a different work rate. It's a different vibe. I still have a tough time with studio shows like that. I just don't think you get the crowd reaction. That it seems very polished and very slick, but. The athletes are legit, and they work hard. I think the women in NXT are amazing.
Yeah,
I think in the next
Well, I
year
mean-
they bring all those gals up, like Becky and Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte. She's amazing. I got to see
Yeah,
her
they're
up there.
killing it. They're killing it, man. And as far as the studio produced show, it kind of gives me that vibe of, remember back in the 80s when they'd have, I forget if it was AWA, it might have even been AWA, where they shot it in a TV studio with one set of bleachers that held maybe like 40 people.
Oh, sure. Well, that was AWA did that, and then even WCW Saturday Night. That's all it was. I mean, there couldn't have been more than 150 people in that little studio. But I don't know. For some reason, it always seems more legit back in the day than now. It just seems like everything's super polished, and the crowd is just, I don't know, sometimes they're kind of marks for themselves and like to hear themselves chant and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true, man. The chanting was a bit much, you know? They're almost like an infomercial crowd at some points, you know? Like, they definitely
Yep.
think they are the awesome. You know?
Yep. But, well, so that's what said. We got somebody R.I.P. Vern Gagne, and we were talking about that earlier in the chat here. We just, like I said, I think I said Timmy. He seems so underrated for what he delivered in terms of the being on the cutting edge of TV and all that stuff. He got it. He just didn't have the buckaroos like Vince did.
Yeah.
We really, like
He's
I said,
really-
we could be watching things on the AWA network right now if a little bit of things fell a few different ways. He had all the talent.
Yeah, well, I think he was really underrated. You know, I was reading a little bit of a tribute written by one of the Harts. It was which Hart was it? Smith Hart on Facebook wrote a little tribute to Vern and comparing him to his dad, like Stu, and saying they were like a lot of parallels in their life and career. You know, with the actual legitimate wrestling background, collegiate and Olympic, and you know how he built his territory in New York, where Stu started out as well. You know, and built and carried his company until it was unceremoniously co-opted by Vince. Right, so they had a lot in common.
Yeah, I mean, for real, and they were both incredible athletes on their own right. I said Gagne was a, like, what is it, 4-time NCAA champion? I mean, one of the few. I mean, I said he was legit tough, badass guy.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey,
Speaking
we
of
got our
legit
first
tough
report of I was gonna say WWE 2K15 is all right. I will say, really bad bug with it. Depth of field option causes ropes to break in the replay after the match. Doesn't surprise me too much. I mean, that's going to happen with the brand new. I was very curious. I almost bought it. I thought, but then it was like, I don't really care to play the new games. I really don't. I mean, they're gorgeous, but I don't.
Here's what bugs me with the way they're doing it. And I know I totally come off as the guy who's making a competing wrestling game crapping all over the competition, right? But we all know that's not the case at all. But to me, they're just I think they're just dumping this game onto the PC market to see who bites. And I would imagine if they're going to put any effort into a PC release, it's going to be over the next few years. And if they decide to do it, they'll do it properly with an actual targeted, specific PC WWE wrestling title. You know, I mean, that kind of explains why we're getting all these reports of how badly buggy it is and everything. I don't think they put a whole lot of time into optimizing it for PC. They just wanted to see if there was a market for it, you know?
Well, that makes you wonder if it's built in one of these engines like Unity or Unreal or whatever. I don't know what engine it's built in, but it makes you wonder if it's one of those, develop once, publish on all platforms kind of a thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but I can't imagine. I mean, knowing what we know about developing for PC and wrestling games specifically, granted what we do is, just a sliver of the scope of a WWE game, but they would have had to have devoted a fairly large amount of resources to prepping this thing for a PC release, and I'm not really feeling the love for it. But you know what? I never really felt there's a lot of support and love for this game, even on console. The general feeling of all the reviews was this is just, the first game on the next gen. It's really cut back. It's really pared down. We're getting a very small experience because they just wanted to get on to next gen, and we're not going to get a real WWE game until the next one comes out, So I really don't think, for better or for worse, I don't think we can really judge 2K's PC wrestling plans on this one title. I think this is just a throw.
Well, it might be a cash grab. I mean, like I said, it's $50. They're not messing around.
Yeah, they're charging for it. They're not shy to be charging for it.
It'll be interesting to see if they play around with, because that's the other thing is I never saw any advertisements at all for it on Raw.
No.
It seemed like I said it was a Steam release, and then it'll be interesting to see if they have any discount weekends or if they kind of knock the price down on some of the have just the typical Steam sales.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think it comes with all DLC, so they're not even really holding back
the one thing that people are upset about is that Paige is not included in the game, basically just out of an oversight. That she's not, for some reason there's like overlap in the DLC or there's not overlap in the DLC, and she's been left out of the game for some reason.
What? Makes no sense, does it?
I read that on Meltzer's site today. I'm sure they'll get it addressed, but still.
Who knows, man? But yeah, like you say, I don't really see a big. I mean, was there even a formal press release for the damn thing?
Yeah, but it only came out like 3 or 4 days before the thing went live. There was no build-up, no anticipation. I really don't understand. Like you said, it feels like a throwaway release. I don't get what happened there. So.
Well, I mean, again, I know I might sound a little disingenuous, but honestly, it just feels like another, throw the PC gamers a bone, and they're lucky we're giving them that kind of feeling, I mean, we all know what's possible on the PC platform, on Steam, with mod support and online play and everything for a wrestling game. And if anyone has the resources to do it right now, it's WWE, 2K publisher. And I don't get the sense that they tried to do anything special for the PC gamers on this release.
Well, and it backs it up with their promotion of it. I said I never saw a thing for it mentioned on Raw, and they do everything on Raw. They promote everything to death, and I never saw one thing. The only thing I ever saw mentioned was just a bit of a blurb, even within Twitter, and that's the only where I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to someone today too about it, and their feeling too was like that this could actually do more to help the indie wrestling dev scene than hurt it, because I mean we all think, oh no, the WWE's here to crush us all, we might as well just go home, right? But no, it seems like it might actually stir up a bit of resentment for the big corporate bad guy wrestling game again, and maybe the indies will get a little rub off of this after all. Who knows, right?
Mr. Cola has made an appearance. I'm just chatting with him and find out and see what he's trying to figure out here.
Excellent. Cola, our artist extraordinaire, showing up for the Twitch. That's awesome.
Well, I said he was looking for you, so maybe he wants to yak with you about something.
Oh yeah, well he did want to. We were going to jump on early to discuss some stuff about super secret behind the scenes stuff before we went live, but I don't think he was expecting us to start the live stream so early. So, oops.
Well, but we're not early. I mean, we're right on time. But it's
okay.
all good.
Yeah, I was confused. Even I was confused, thinking we weren't going until an hour later. But no, it's good. I like this time that we start. It's perfect for me. Good for you. And yeah, let's keep doing it, man.
I'm gonna see if he wants to.
People really dig watching them work on characters and that, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun. I think it's awesome.
Makes me wish I stayed in school and learned how to do that myself.
It's a different set of skills, man. I cannot wrap my head around some of this stuff.
Oh, I know.
And we all got our things, but that stuff is it's ridiculous. Hang on, I'm just waiting for him to respond.
Sure. No worries. No worries, man. Man, have you seen the newest screenshot from Action Arcade Wrestling that Dave Horn posted?
The one with the Force Lightning?
Uh, no, that's an old one.
Well, no, that's the latest one that I saw.
No, he posted
I
one.
thought he posted it today.
It's just of a guy being lifted up in a suplex. But I tell you, that Unreal Engine, man, you forget how good things can look in a good engine, you know? Like,
Oh, is that the one with the tables in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he posted one with the Force Lightning here today.
Could be, yeah. He's really digging that. I think it's cool the way he's really carving out a niche for himself. You know, he's actually going more in the arcade fighting game kind of feel for what he's doing. You know, which nobody else is doing. So he's smart there. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who want that kind of, you know, just user friendly kind of fun. Obviously, you know, lighthearted presentation, man. So I think what he's doing is super cool. And, you know, I mean, why not, right? Fire Pro Games had, like, you know, blowing fire in people's faces. Is Force Lightning really that much of a stretch?
Yeah, I said I'm in. You there, Cola?
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Cola.
What's going on, guys?
We're just twitching, man.
Shooting the shit?
Yeah, we are. What we were just talking about, the latest screenshots Dave Horn's been showing of his game, man, and how good the Unreal Engine's treating him. So.
Oh yeah. He's making some good progress for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what he's got going on in the art department, man, but he's everything just looks like he's taking it to the next level compared to the last game, which the last game didn't look terrible, you know. So.
Yeah, it's much better rendering engine going on there. I don't know if the models were upgraded or were they?
They must have been. I don't know. We should get him on here sometime. Have a special guest guy on Twitch, man. Why not?
Yeah, we got to figure out the Google Plus, because this thing with Skype sounds good, but I can't arrange the cameras and all that kind of fun stuff. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it's all good, man. So how's work today, Cola?
Going fine.
Yeah. Got you doing anything interesting, or do you have to drink lots of coffee to stay interested?
Yeah, more of the latter, I guess.
Yeah?
Dude, yeah. Make that paper, man. Make that paper.
I remember back in the day, we had a guy, this is like 10 years ago, mind you, he was working on Pro Wrestling X, and then he got a job working for Sega, right? And we were so happy for him, man, because he's a really good artist, a really good guy, really creative, you know, like he's an asset to any company. But what did they have him doing? Swear to God, for like 4 months straight, nothing but pushing pixels and drawing Sonic the Hedgehog's feet, like 10,000 different ways. Can you imagine going to work every day drawing Sonic the Hedgehog's feet?
No.
Dude, that would suck.
I mean, as much of a fanboy as I might have been for the first day or two, yeah, I'm working on a Sonic game, but my God. And then it turned out to be one of the worst, you know, I think it might have even been for that Nokia N-Gage or something, like just one of the terrible platforms, terrible game, just awful. Awful, man. Can't imagine.
Yeah, it's pretty common, you know.
Somebody has to do it.
Yeah. Yep. Unless that's what's kind of I don't know. I wonder if freelance is maybe a little better for that. Because it seems like the in-house guys are the ones doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? Freelance though, that must be. Well, you're in the scene though, aren't you? I mean, you're in Vancouver, and a lot of people are trying to make a go of it freelancing there. And if there's opportunity anywhere, it's going to be in Vancouver. But in your experience, you know many people who can pay the bills and survive in Vancouver freelancing in the game industry?
Yeah, there's a few guys. The programmer, game sort of developer, indie developer guys, I guess. That's I mean, they're working from home, so that's something.
Yeah, I guess.
The concept artist guys they have a good go at it. Modelers not so much, but it's not unheard of. But it's just a little bit less common.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not undoable. So what are you guys? What are you guys broadcasting? Just your
Just
lovely-
shooting it. Just shooting it. We're waiting for you to entertain the troops. Nobody joins our channel when it's just like us yahoos and our faces up here.
Everybody wants to watch you work on art, man, instead of looking at our faces. Yeah, actually,
I
I'm
don't
getting
blame
some
them.
good
For
feedback.
crying out loud.
I was getting great feedback the other day. A few more people were talking about how much they liked watching you work on the ZBrush stuff and commenting on your work. A couple of different artists were wanting me to pass along their praise for your
Dave,
work.
what I think
man.
I'm going to do is, can you turn off your camera? And I think I'm going to do the same. I'm losing frames, and I think that's kind of part of the reason. So, let's if that's going to help us, let's do this a different way. So, all right.
Not a problem.
That way we can, let's get Alex working on that crotch there, really, really large.
Yeah.
All right, hang on here. Standby chat. Let me.
So, Alex, have you been doing any playing that WWE 2K15 on Steam?
Oh, was it?
Came out
No, I
today.
haven't even. No, I haven't picked it up or anything like that. I'll wait for it to go on sale, probably, and then I'll pick it
Yeah.
up as research.
Haven't heard anything terribly good about it yet. Just the usual, it's decent for what it is. It's got the usual bugs and then some new PC specific bugs, it seems.
Oh yeah, I don't mind
Or-
the bugs. Like I find bugs are unless they're really screwing up like online like ranked play. I don't really care about bugs too bad because they're kind of an anomaly. Like they don't happen all the time. They're kind of edge case things. But my only complaint about 2K14 was the UI was like always there. It was like always in your face, and I'm never really into that. And the gameplay was just tough to pick up, I found.
So by UI, you mean like the HUD, like the on-screen stuff during a match?
Yeah, I guess more HUD than UI. Yeah, that's right. Like push L now to do this, and there's always a little arrow over your head. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of stuff always irks me. Like it should always be optional. You should always be able to turn that stuff off, man. But
Yeah.
I can see why. These days, though, games are so different. They hold your hand so much, telling you what to do in what case and what instance, like you say, like press L now, do this to run or whatever, just kind of coaching you, holding your hand along the way, right? But usually you can turn that off. But I hate it when you can, man, especially when, like you say, it's really... It's terribly hokey kind of stuff with big arrows, or some games had like the glowing circle underneath your character follow you around the
At all
ring.
times, dude. Oh, that's terrible, man.
I think
There's a line like Street Fighter's UI does not bog down the gameplay at all. It adds to the gameplay. There's information in their UI that you just couldn't explain in any other way. Like when your bars are full, when your moves are available.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a right way and a wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think in our case, like we want our game to be hopefully, ideally, used to produce some cool screenshots and video stuff for people who do eFeds and things like that.
Yeah.
So you should always have the ability to make clean
totally.
screens. In fact,
yeah, you want like to do some cinematic stuff, right? And
yeah.
I think that's pretty natural for a wrestling game. Be able to turn everything off, take control of the camera, and like do whatever you want to do.
Oh yeah, some games even messed with clever ways to do that. I don't know if you remember Rumble Roses. You remember that game?
I never.
remember it. I never played
You sent me a copy of that at one point, but I do not. I've never actually sat down and played that one.
Rumble Roses was cool because at various points in the game, you had manual control over the camera. Like, you know how we always go for during a pin or a submission, it's kind of almost cliche now to have the camera rotate around the characters during a pin or submission. Well, in Rumble Roses, it did do that, but you didn't realize that if you played with the controller, you could zoom, pan, and everything during those moments and come up with some really cool stuff, right?
That's
so
awesome,
yeah, and that would always rubber band back to the computer-controlled camera, right? But there was always moments where generally, if you weren't able to control or interact with your wrestler, like during a submission loop or something, the controls would then automatically be transferred to the camera instead. So kind of neat.
Yeah, I love that.
So I gotta check that out. There's a few of those games that really did have some cutting edge stuff, like a feature or two that was, just really, really dynamite.
Oh yeah, like there's so much now that we've got a nice library of games, of wrestling games and whatnot. There's so many like hidden gems. Rumble Roses is one of them, I think. Especially if you're gonna get the sequel. I don't even remember. I think it was called Double X or something like that. Rumble Roses. Just bigger, better, more of what it did. Gorgeous game, man.
I remember
really
seeing the screenshots and thinking, "Wow, that's absolutely incredible."
Yeah, exactly right. And it was made by, God, I want to say, being a terrible wrestling game nerd now, I can't remember who developed that. It was a Japanese developer, though.
Google's our friend.
Japanese developer, so it was cool. But yeah, every once in a while, it's fun to go and binge on some of the older, less successful games. And
was it a Yuke's game?
What kind of thing? You know what it was?
Yuke's is Konami. Yeah, Konami. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Now that you mention that, yeah, that was Yuke's. And it did things that SmackDown wasn't doing. Like I say, with the manual camera control and their submission system, I think was better than what SmackDown was doing at the time. But what people don't always realize is that just because it says Yuke's doesn't mean it's the same people within Yuke's who worked on one project to the next, right? Yuke's is a big company, and they probably had their SmackDown team, and then they had their B team for doing other shitty games, and their C team for whatever, and
that could be they may have subcontracted to a studio that's not even their team per se.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not uncommon.
Yeah. So you never know. Man, Alex, this guy's looking good.
It's been fun watching this thing take shape.
Working our way up.
Yeah.
Once I kind of get everything in place, I just sort of work my way up. I got a lot of like sort of anatomy tuning to do, stuff like that. But
so do you still have to wade into the rig or what?
He should just copy over to the rig. Like he has this all the mesh is going to be the same, just a different shape and a different normal map applied. So, yeah, it should the rigging should be pretty smooth. The only thing that's a little tedious is going to be rescaling the various parts to fit the other sized characters, so that you could throw them on the sort of the medium guy we have now. Other than that, it's going to be. That's
what I was going to say. Do they share a rig? I mean, common.
They do, yeah. They're all one.
Standard humanoid.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. Is technically how are we loading this new model into the game when we select him as a character in the future?
That part is up to Mike. But essentially, there's a master file that I give that I'll upload, and Mike will be able to toggle the visibility of all the parts. So there's a big FBX with every part and body type in it, and then from there it's you toggle on and off what you want and what you don't, and then you put that into a preset that becomes a character. So right now we have 2. And yeah, and that's pretty much it.
So cool.
with Grimhold, we'll be able to test the body size stuff and see how the animations fit together with different.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy, man. I apologize to anybody in chat. I did not realize that I had logged off a chat 20 minutes ago and hadn't
You're back
been
on.
receiving anything. Yeah.
Chatters are quiet tonight. Some of our usual heavy chatters are not in here tonight.
It's because everybody's playing 2K15 on Steam. God damn it!
They might be. You never know.
I should go wade into there and see what the bug reports are like. I don't think it lets you if you haven't bought the game, does it?
I'm sure
you might be
yeah,
surprised.
yeah.
Usually they put it right on the community hub. Like the fans aren't shy about posting bugs, man.
Yeah, that was
On
gonna
the
say I'd
forums.
almost be terrified to go in there myself. But I said I've been down that road. You know, I can't go into them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, have you guys been getting any questions, or I don't even have the chat open.
It's
so I don't
quiet
even know how many
tonight.
people come right here.
Our chatters are quiet. They're watching you in action here.
Cool,
We
man.
we got started a little late, and so it's getting everybody's.
We've been getting some feedback on 2K15, some bug reports.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about Verngagne because that was a big deal in the wrestling world. That hit last night. That news about him passing away. But
Yeah, I just kinda,
okay.
I just saw it come on my feed, man, and
yeah, it kind of popped up during Raw last night. At first, I was kind of nervous that it was a rumor, so that's kind of when I put our tweet. That is like, well, if the rumors are true, boy, this really sucks. Kind of underrated guy for the business, you know, as a whole in history. But it was pretty much confirmed pretty shortly thereafter. So it was legit.
Did they?
You just have to be so careful these days about death rumors. It's like, my God,
I know.
Yeah.
there's been so many wrestlers out there. Like, I think Diamond Dallas Page has been like declared dead like 7 or 8 different times, or it's been, like Jake the Snake, the same thing.
Wow.
But WWE did a big announcement. They broadcast that out. I don't know if they've done any special programming or not. I haven't seen anything. They were debuting a bunch of stuff here tonight. And then with that King of the Ring, I don't want to call it a mini pay-per-view, but it's kind of what it was, where it was just kind of a special Tuesday live broadcast.
Wow, I'm just reading through some of the feedback here.
Oh, that's right. RP Coltrane, and this reminds us that it's been 10 years that Chris Candido passed away, too.
Wow,
That was another one. I think that was complications. He had a bad foot surgery or something like that, and had an infection or something. So,
yeah, I remember that. That's very
quiet.
few wrestlers. Yeah. Oh, gosh, very few wrestlers just die of old age. You know.
yeah, really. We got Ralph. Weren't we supposed to see some of the game? I think, remember, guys, you said that about 2 weeks ago.
Yes, we are.
I could pop in if you want. I could crack it open.
Sure.
Or Dave, if you'd rather.
I don't know. I kind of like watching you do art instead. I mean, I can let the chatters decide. I mean, they've seen it. Well, maybe they haven't. Like, maybe these guys haven't seen the game in action yet.
Well, let's see what happens, because we're all learning how to do this, man. Let's see what happens if I boot up the game and you try showing anything of what I'm doing.
Yeah, because I mean, you would just share your screen, and I think I can pick which one to show.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think
Let's try that.
I would just turn off Alex's video feed for a second, or
Let us just warn all of our awesome Twitch listeners that we are new to trying all the screen sharing stuff with games running and all sorts of stuff going on. So if we screw up, please bear with us. We'll get her done. I am, however, lacking. I think all my wired controllers are somewhere. Oh no, here we go. Okay, cool. See if I can-
Are you booting up the editor, Dave, or are you just gonna boot up the build?
I'm going to boot up the build, the last build posted to our internal dev channel.
yeah, that's what, guys. Just to clarify the chat, Candido died of a blood clot. You know, he got injured in a cage match during a TNA pay-per-view. That I remember. And then he had a surgery, and then he had like a blood clot. So it was kind of complications due to surgery. Same kind of deal.
Sad, man, sad.
Well, I said it sucks when they get taken too early. It's not fair.
Yeah. So, let's see here. I'm gonna try to run the game windowed here.
Yeah, because essentially, Dave, what you're doing is you're going to end up like sharing your screen,
Yep.
and I think it'll probably boot Alex's screen. We'll find out here in a second.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to figure out a better way to do this with some different video sources. Well, I mean, I think Google Plus would be a much more ideal way to do this. So
You want to try doing that for next week? Try see if you can.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea, or at least try to figure out different ways to acquire sources for all this stuff.
Well, if bandwidth becomes an issue for sharing video and gameplay stuff, I should just seriously, just take some video, prepare it before we go, and then hopefully you can just play some video clips if the
Usually
live
that's not a problem, because what I end up doing is I end up taking all these video sources, and then it gets kind of compressed down into a certain resolution and a certain frame rate to where the upload is acceptable. The problem is, like, when I have all these things upstream and downstream with different video sources and all that stuff, it gets a little bit ugly. But it's, I think it's been hanging in. It hangs in there okay. I watched some of it after the fact.
Hey Eric, you remember that awesome message you got the last time you tried to boot up the game? Missing
yes.
executable?
Yes.
That's what I'm getting now.
Yeah, what you'll have to do is you're going to have to just install the base, not the beta, because the beta is useless to play anyway.
So you fixed this, okay? You got
no. I mean, you just have to download the public build, not the bleeding edge broken beta.
With all the new moves in it, damn.
Well, I could never get that launched.
Do you need to have the public build downloaded first before you can run the beta?
I don't.
So in other words,
think
if your
so.
public's out of date, your data is your private beta is.
I don't think so, because it's just you're just downloading the next executable that's available for you to download. It's not like it's an update. It's just you're kind of replacing the at least that's what I thought. Because what we were getting,
so our beta is just simply missing an executable.
Well, something is borked. That's the message that it gives you. And I was trying to get Mike to look into it, but I think he's been swamped.
Well,
if you guys want me to, crack open the actual the game engine and do some stuff that way, I can do that.
Could ya? Because right now it looks like this doesn't. It's embarrassing to not be able to play the damn game for Twitch. So, if you wouldn't mind opening up and showing people where we left off, that would be very handy. And then I could remove some of this egg from my face for next week and get the damn thing working on my machine. Jesus.
Do you have?
You're not alone. I mean, I ran into the same thing. So,
Eric, you have the build too, right?
I do. The problem is I struggle a little bit with running it. I mean, I can run it in like the preview mode, like within Unity. I can do all that, but I cannot build an executable with the code base that I've got. I think I'm either missing some permissions to log in, to pull some of the spreadsheet data or something along. It's strictly a guess, or I may not have the pro license or something along those lines.
Okay, well, give me 5 seconds to grab a controller, and then I'll do that. I'll boot it up what I have here.
Cool.
Thank you, sir. Awesome. So while we're waiting for Cola to prove we have a game in development, any questions in the chat room?
So we've only got five people watching tonight, so
we can do whatever we want.
We can pretty much do whatever we want. Sorry, guys.
It was like when the Soup was broadcasting during the Bruce Jenner interview. That was pretty funny. Nobody's watching us. We'll do whatever we want.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I didn't watch it. I have to admit. It felt exploitive. It just doesn't feel right to me that they're just trying to milk that guy's poor, the guy's struggling with a lot of stuff, and it just feels really mean and nasty to just stick a camera in his face and.
God, can you
get some
imagine?
views.
Like life isn't already, exposed enough when you're part of that Kardashian machine, man. But geez, to have any sort of personal, private life at all.
Well, because I remember him as an Olympian. I mean, he was always. I mean, this is so far out of left field. I mean, I always thought it was like not a joke, but I thought it was like a publicity stunt or something or just some tabloid shit. That they were trying to make up a bunch of rumors in order to get, make this guy look bad. And I couldn't believe it. It was like, holy crap, this is legit. And yeah, very, very, very strange story. I feel for the guy.
Yeah, I know, eh? But,
there's an ESPN. They do these little kind of like documentaries called 30 for 30s, where it's like they did like a 2-hour special on a guy named Renee something. Like he was a doctor, Renee Richards or something along those lines. He was a doctor that had a sex change, and he was like a semi-pro tennis player. This is back in the early 70s, I think. And the guy had the full-blown plumbing switch and everything, took the estrogen, all that kind of stuff, and went out for the women's professional tour to play as a woman. And she at that point was like, significantly bigger than all the women. It was like just overpowering them like crazy. Right. And so there was like the rumor that this used to be a guy and all this kind of stuff, but it was all like, just like a bunch of crap. And it was an astonishing documentary, just talking about like how this guy had to kind of fight to be taken seriously in the profession, and whether or not he was legit, and all the controversy at the time. And it's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy, man.
Yeah, we're waiting on chatters. We're waiting on Alex to load up what we've got is kind of like our game and engine, and you can kind of see it like in its literally most raw form. You can see some of the new animations we've got in there. You can see some of the new. Because I think it's primarily animations, and because we were trying to rework how grapples worked. We had kind of gone down one road, and it wasn't clicking right.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you played the game that we launched with on Steam, the grappling worked, yay, but we wanted it to work better, right? So it would seem like, the next step would simply be to improve what was already there. But it seemed to be actually that the best way to make it better was to nuke what was there and put something better in its place. So 1 step forward, 5 steps backwards to get it done. But that's what they were working on, and that's what hopefully Alex is going to show you how things are working now. And that's what we wanted to be the next update that people got, was the improved grappling mechanics. So,
Alex, do you want me to hide your screen while you're doing all this stuff?
It's just a black screen, is it not?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, I just wasn't making sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's just my background, my desktop background. I just have it empty until I have it up.
Just another indie wrestling development update. Somebody asked me about Grapple Pro Championship Wrestling, which you might remember announced a few years ago, and we were really impressed with. Believe it or not, like their marketing.
Yeah, I remember because they had a Facebook page. I remember all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at their Facebook page now, and it hasn't been updated since last year, April.
I haven't heard anything out of that project in a long time. I remember that was kind of on our radar as another one. Just said you're just another one to keep an eye on. Well,
they started out with such a bang. They said all the right things, they were positioned really well, and they started showing screenshots of early development, which it wasn't amazing, but it was proof that they had something working. And then silence, and their domain name has has gone kaput. That's been let go and lost. So I don't know what to tell anybody. I had been in contact with the developer when they had launched, the usual, introducing each other, wishing everybody luck and help out with stuff. They seemed to have their crap together and looked like they were going to have a real good, honest shot at it. But, yeah.
Oh, I know why the viewers are low. Dave, you didn't post anything to Facebook.
Yeah, I did.
You did not. I'm looking right at it. You
Oh.
You had one job.
Eric and I are live on Twitch right now.
You had one job. All right, I'll take
Eric
care of
and
it.
I are live on Twitch right now.
I'm looking right at the page, brother. I'm all up there because we just had somebody in chat that said, "Yeah, I didn't know you guys were doing anything here tonight." So,
What the hell's going on, man?
I'm on it right now.
So are you guys seeing what I'm working on or what I'm doing?
Absolutely,
here, or am I
that's
live?
sweet.
It's running pretty slow.
So wait a
Right now
minute.
the
So the
arm-
grapple's not locking up for you? Because right now my build, the one that I had, he throws a grapple and everything freezes.
Oh, well, no, mine is like a little newer than yours, right?
Okay.
Because yours is just whatever was uploaded last, and mine is there may even be a newer one. I didn't bother to check source tree before I started this because I didn't want to. I knew when I last played it what to expect, so I didn't want to, be like, looks like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing because anything could have been fixed or broken since that time.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's the glitch I was getting there. The grappling in the midair. That's what was supposed to be.
Yes. Yeah.
Right,
There it is
yeah.
right there. Yeah.
And now you're locked up,
Yeah,
right? Can't
so-
get out of that.
Well, he snaps out of it when he gets hit in the face. Yeah, if
Yeah.
Grasshopper comes by and pops him in the mouth, it
bet
like
you if
snaps
I-
him out of it. There you go.
See,
That was
yeah,
a
I
nice
think-
arm drag. That was a perfectly executed arm drag from midair, but it was good.
Usually the arm drag sends him right out of the ring.
Yeah,
thing is,
it's a
I think-
pretty.
The code is kind of in transition right now, so it's a
The last.
as you know it's a distance-based thing, right? So at least it was, and maybe I can.
Yeah, the last that I had heard from programming Mike here was that he was transitioning, like you said, from the distance-based grappling mechanic to a more collision-based, and that's why it
Yeah.
was kind of in between right now in limbo, which is why you're going to get all sorts of fun new glitches, like Nya, because it's
Yeah, so it looks
It's
like
in the
I'm
middle,
like
but
my grapple is catching no matter what the distance is at the moment,
yeah, exactly.
and at a point I'm able to move, and if I get him within distance,
You can do the grapple moves, yeah.
he locks into the grapple. Now that hip toss is throwing him a little far. I suspect that collision is on during the move, and it shouldn't be, and
Yeah.
it's like artificially tossing him further because you can't have two objects occupying the same space that have collision. So,
It's repelling him, right?
there he
Yeah,
goes.
there you go.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
oh no, he skinned the cat on me. So
Yeah, so good. So which of
Um,
which new moves were added to this build?
well, I did the scoop.
There
slide
was
at one
you've
point.
got the jawbreaker where he drops to his knees. I don't think that one's active yet. Like it wasn't built into the control scheme. You have a body slam. You've got the arm drag. You've got arm drag. Yeah, let me fire up my build because I think I've got all this somewhere here too.
And I would just like to take this opportunity to once again remind everyone how unafraid we are to show things in progress.
Yeah.
Because there are some pretty glaring, usually for developers' eyes only states of freaking progress here, But I wanted to show people what we're working on, and explain why it's where it's at, so you get to see what we see behind the curtain. Sausage being made, right?
Well, that's the whole idea, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can see the master character here with all the different parts listed,
Oh, yeah, okay.
basically. So we have the base character, this guy. and he just has two. There's a slider in here.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm seeing that right on.
At some point. Anyway, that wasn't really what I wanted to show though.
Yeah, this is your animations right here.
So this is where the fun stuff is. It's in all this tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, this is all the stuff that I figured out. I mean, this is all, I could see how all this stuff came together. I just couldn't, there was a certain extent where you just couldn't modify it. Or at least I couldn't. I couldn't figure out where the, how everything worked together.
Yeah, so right here is the, you have the snapmare that happens. This is just the defender.
Yeah, the snapmare was another
here's
new move. Yep.
And this highlighted portion is the transition, and then the idle afterwards. And I just give me 5 seconds here. I'll be right back. But
it's all good. Throw the preview back up, or the play, just so it'll give something to look at. Yeah.
Oh, really? See what.
Hey, it's all good. Works for me.
Okay, let's see what Grasshopper does. Okay, I'll be right back.
I think that translates to bathroom break. I think is how that is interpreting. Yeah, because this is what I was doing last week, and I was like manning the other one player with like trying to make it look like there was like, oh god,
Well, I had the last time my build worked for me, I had them doing all the other moves, but I had rope collision issues, the usual issues, right? So shit just needs to be ironed out, man. We need more programming hours in the programming seats so we can get this stuff moving forward.
Yeah, we're working on it slowly but surely, guys. We're trying.
Yeah, working on it, and I know it's not just a platitude. I know everybody listening to the Twitch stream right now is wishing we were moving faster on this stuff that we're showing, and please know that we have actual real solutions to our current slow pace in the works. And if well, how can I put it, really, if ability matches up with enthusiasm, we should finally be seeing things moving along the way they should be. So fingers crossed.
We need we could use a karma. We could use a karma, all your spare karma at this point to try to make this happen.
Well, it's just we're so close, right? Like, I mean, you see what we've got working here, and you see everything we have to work with. That we've got all the art assets, all the design documentation, all the animations and stuff that we need to actually, complete the Kickstarter defined version 1.0 of the game, with a few minor exceptions. Would you say that's
well, we're getting there. I mean, I think these are all. These are. It sounds easy to just say, yeah, all it is this, but in reality, that small amount is a hell of a lot of work, and it is, and it's got to be. You just have to throw hours into it, and it's just hard to do, especially when you're trying to figure things out along the way. These things are not. We're not just downloading a little first-person shooter kit, changing a few skins out, and ta-da, we've got a brand new game. Like, we have to invent all the technology, and we have to invent how all this stuff works. And sometimes you get it wrong. Sometimes you take a guess on how you're going to set up something, and it just doesn't perform the way you think it's going to. So that's that's how it rolls.
I know. I think when you compare Pro Wrestling X development to other indie games, hey, cool. When you compare Pro Wrestling X development to other indie games, I think everybody's pretty much on par with each other in terms of man hours put into stuff.
Oh.
And,
whoa! Look at that body slam. Did you see that? That's what I'm talking about.
That one just worked.
How did that work?
I don't know. Just
why am I not seeing that? I didn't see that. Am I watching a different stream than everybody? God damn it!
Yeah, that was nice. That was a tight little body. That was a tight little body slam there.
Everybody, look, we added
stuff. Now, what was the other? There's the.
Hey, I've seen that one a few times.
Ooh. Did I mention that we have a Brainbuster?
Yeah, we this is Pro Wrestling X
yeah,
the
I know they're-
Brainbuster edition. Yeah.
Oh,
Damn it, I'm
usually that's
signed
what
out.
happens.
And I'm signed out of chat again. Sorry, y'all. Don't know what I did, but hey, love the Brainbuster. We actually have 2 Brainbusters because we want to work in the move modification mechanic, where if you do something control-wise, you can make a Brainbuster do more damage than usual, right? So we actually have an animated.
Oh yeah, I can show you guys that stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
The
Yeah, damn right, Brainbuster.
Brainbuster.
the damage modified Brainbuster isn't in the build right now. Obviously, it's a little lower priority, right?
Yeah.
But there's a big master animations list here where we can inspect any one of these bad boys. So unfortunately, the way this works is you only see one character at a time. So if we have a look here,
Yeah, you can see
kinda
offense
dark.
versus defense, attacker versus defender.
there's no lighting here. But like, this is just the defender getting brain busted. You know,
Is that
Never
a verb?
heard that
Should
term,
be
but
so,
brain
yeah.
busted. Yeah.
I think it's a
getting
verb.
his brain busted. So and so the idea is if if you're able to hit A at some sort of time that makes sense, timing wise, right? Am I right, Dave? Then you'll trigger this alternate one, where it kind of lands.
Oh,
a
that's a
little more,
straight
like,
down
on
drop.
his
Look at
neck.
that thing. Holy crap. That one looks like it hurts. Hey, the Latin Root Groove Radio Show hopping in chat. I recognize that name.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome.
They
I
took good
think
care-
I think
yeah.
we could with a little bit of animation work, and maybe that is an understatement. I think we could kind of work this into, like, say, instead of transitioning into just a more devastating brain buster, maybe you could like go right into a headlock or something, or
We've
right
always
into a
talked
pin,
about, like, that's always the golden thing, is to be able to kind of do some of that chain stuff where you're literally just kind of running, like comboing almost. Not comboing, that's not necessarily the right word, but you're kind of able to chain moves together like that.
Yeah, because if we can set up it's really just about when, like, a logical cue in the animation that says this is a right time to hit the button.
Well, so I was going to ask
and
that.
if
Like,
your
is this
timing
like
is
the,
good-
the strong versus a weak brainbuster, or like what was or was this a modified? I can't
No.
remember.
This is a
It's sort of
modified.
like
This is a
yeah,
chain
either way.
wrestling almost. Yeah, when you execute the Brainbuster, what we want to do is give you almost like a King of Colosseum clutch grapple timing thing. Which, if you're not familiar with it, it gives you the opportunity to actually get better at the game and perform more devastating stuff by learning the timing of the game. So you're not actually adding more depth by way of just some BS move tree addition or anything, but you do a Brainbuster, but if you learn at exactly what point in the Brainbuster to hit your button again, he'll actually finish the animation differently. It's like, imagine you get halfway through a Brainbuster and you hit the reverse button, you'd reverse it, right? Like in No Mercy. Well, this is the same sort of idea. You're going to actually split the animation, but instead of reversing the Brainbuster, the attacker is going to
Because
add
that is
some more
just
power
brutal.
to the Brainbuster.
That is just absolutely brutal. I love that.
Yeah.
That's like almost. Who used to do a brainbuster like that? Because Coco Beware and Jammy Jam Garvin always used to kind of like duck the guy. It was more of like you just a straight down. But yeah, but there's a couple of people that maybe have had that straight down brainbuster.
Oh, where's that? No, that wasn't the one.
Dead fish, baby.
Oh, where's that fish one? It's a cell. The maybe I haven't imported it into this.
It could be.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff we have fleshed out here.
Hey, I like that get up. That's a good get up. I like that from the face down. That looks
What?
like perfect. Because our face up get up is kind of hard. That's a hard, like, it doesn't. I can't see anybody getting up like. At least I don't have the the lower body strength to like get up like that. If I could do that, you know, I'd have abs and stuff. But
Somebody in the chat wants me to repeat what I said. I don't know what I said, so sorry.
are we cutting out, chat? Let us know how the quality's looking. If it looks like crap and stuff.
Yeah. If we're accidentally cutting out on somebody, please tell us during chat, man. Oh, I think maybe he's talking about...
break the grapple or slap the grapple attempt away.
Yeah, I'm going through the sort of defensive stuff right now. So
Ralph 9900 there. If you were talking about maybe, I was just talking about move modifications. Maybe that's what he was asking me to repeat.
The damage modifier.
We're calling it damage modifying or something like this. It works kind of like King of Colosseum or one of my personal favorites ever, Giant Graham 2000, where if you actually learn the timing of certain moves, and you know how you can reverse, say, a Brainbuster by pressing the reverse button at the right time, you'll get halfway through a Brainbuster and then it'll reverse. Well, we wanted to give the attacker the same sort of option to, take more control of things.
Headbanger.
So that if the attacker actually pressed like the attack button again, halfway through the Brainbuster, he'd finish it off extra strong and do a super killer Brainbuster. Lifted completely from Giant Graham 2000 when I first saw that you could change a Tiger Driver into a Tiger Driver freaking broken neck head drop. It looked amazing. So
was it
Austin
an Easter egg
Aries
in that
is
game,
definitely one who's got a good Brainbuster.
No, it wasn't an Easter egg. It was flat out part of the, it was right in the instruction manual. It was just next to impossible to... You really had to learn the timing, and you only had one chance to do it, So it was a really, really cool reward for the players, to practice the game and get good at it,
Well, it was just one of those things where, again, it was like minutes to learn, lifetime to master. Like anybody can just initiate a grapple and get all that kind of stuff cooking, but it's like those little touches that just takes you from, a kind of a novice player to just keep getting your skills higher.
Answering a couple questions. How's Sister Abigail doing? It's fucking changing colors, man. It's not good. So.
Ew, no pictures.
No, it started actually leaking the other day, man.
Is that?
It's nasty.
Is that Trish?
Sistratus, yeah.
Sister.
Yeah, it's nasty. I think I'm down to maybe week or month 5 on the knee surgery wait list, so hopefully this gets taken care of before I give birth to a conjoined twin or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you were dealing with what? Clot Cabana was the next
Clot
deal?
Cabana. Yeah. I had to bail on last week's Twitch because they thought I developed a blood clot below my knee, which never fun. Could be fatal. So we kind of had to take care of that. But so far I'm as healthy as ever, I suppose.
We put healthy in air quotes whenever we talk about Dave.
No, right. Another question: if you were forced to say how many percentage you are into development, what would you say? Percentage.
5.
Well, percentage of what? Percentage of development to getting to our Kickstarter 1.0. I'd say we're at about 80 to 85% art and animation. Maybe 10% on the programming side. I don't know if you guys would agree with that.
5 to 10.
Yeah, 5 to 10. Yeah.
We've got a giant kind of a capability, like all of the functionality that's got to be live. I've got to sanitize that and put that up somewhere where people can actually take a look at it, so that I can show everybody that this is kind of the roadmap and show everybody exactly what's being worked on at any one time. But we've got kind of like a master list of everything that has to be. Yeah, see, if I wish I could get out of bed in the morning like that, like where you just I have lower abdominal strength. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I have to roll over and then make a lot of noise. Yeah. I'm sorry. Where was I? I'm constant.
Percentage of development. If you were to ask me what percentage of development we are towards what we would call Pro Wrestling X 1.0 of all the core features of a wrestling game, create a wrestler and multiplayer and stuff, or 1% of 1% maybe. We make no bones about the fact that we want to build a hell of a lot bigger game than we've got. So
yeah, our short-term goal is to kind of complete our Kickstarter objectives. For those who kind of who backed our Kickstarter, who saw that we were on Kickstarter, we've got a pretty specific feature list that has to be live for our 1.0. Which includes running, using ropes, top rope moves. We have a steel cage, some weapons. It's a fairly base game. There's our dead fish. And so I think it's kind of cool that. Go ahead, Alex.
This is when somebody just gets kicked when they're on the ground,
totally,
or elbowed or whatever. When you play it in a loop, it looks pretty fucking silly.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not above laughing at shit like that, stuff like this. I'm not above this. I'm 12.
Yeah,
I can just see like. We need like a flare flop. We have to have a cell for that. We have to figure out a way to do like some kind of a super back rake, like what the Young Bucks do. It's wonderful. They do like springboard back rakes and all this stuff. It's absolutely hilarious.
We just have to figure out also a way to actually, start and then finish a match. That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to finish a match. That's the thing is, you look at this list of animations, and it's like the pieces and parts are there. We just need some help gluing everything together, because that's ultimately the big problem with wrestling games is that, and this is something that a developer, every time they kind of jump into these things, they kind of like, oh my god, they maybe bit off more than they can chew, is that everything is so incredibly situational. If you can only do this if you're in a certain position, and so you're having all these different checks at every one time, like where is a certain wrestler positioned? Are they face up? Are they face down? Are they grappling? Are they defending? Are they attacking? Are they selling? It's just all these things, and so you have to really think everything through, and then build out the game logic to where you're just doing all these checks, and sometimes it gets really, really hard when you're having to. Take a look at all these things, and then you realize that there's a little part where the logic breaks somewhere in the middle for just a couple frames, and you have to try to figure out all of a sudden why it's throwing everything else off. So there's a lot of minutia and a lot of detail-oriented work that a programmer's got to do to kind of tie everything together. But you can see we've got the pieces and parts.
Yeah, we've got everything we need now, thanks to the work of obviously Alex Gola, just all art and animations. You've been knocking this stuff out, right? It's time to sew it all together, man. So it's not that our programming, and it's not that it's not that the programming part of the team can't do this. It's just a matter of time to get it all done.
Having the hours. You got to respect You got to respect somebody's full-time gig and the fact they got a family and all this stuff. I mean, it's very hard sometimes to just ask people to sacrifice and sacrifice and sacrifice. It's hard. So
yeah,
we understand.
It can be unbalanced. Some of us on the crew, I can sit here. I'm lucky. In my situation, I can put in hours a day. To do what I have to do. And I'm lucky. I like my job for Pro Wrestling Act. It's fun. But somebody else might be lucky if they can get in 2 hours a week. And that can really, it's not like when I had a physical studio there, and we had $100,000 in the bank, and we could put asses in the seats for 8 hours a day all together in the same room. We blasted progress, things were moving along back in the day of screenshot Saturdays and everything, right? When we had I think we had half a dozen people full time working.
Yeah, I think so. That was in the crack. That was in the crack. The Crackville studio there.
Yeah. We affectionately called the shithole, So,
yeah.
But so we're in a different situation now. It's everybody has a full-time gig to pay the bills, and if you're living in Vancouver, you've got bills, my friend. It's the most expensive place to live in the country, right? So, but again, like we said earlier in the broadcast, we're not just kind of sitting here with a thumb up our butts, whining, complaining about it. We're taking some steps here to get more programming hours thrown at the game. So hopefully you will see some speeding up. Tortoise in the hair, right?
That little bit looks like he's what Randy Orton does when he's prepping to hit somebody with the RKO. Like he goes into that move where he will dive to the mat like that.
Oh yeah.
I can't tell what the animation is.
Noticing a bug here. His hand is totally backwards. Not sure what's going on there. Have to check that out. But
yeah, these are the things, the little details that when you're spinning so fast, you don't see them. But when you slow it way down, you're like, wait a minute, how's he doing that?
Just watching the chat room here. Some people saying they'll pick up 2K15 when it's below $15. I think that's a lot of people's opinions.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Is I wait it out for the Steam sales. I mean, I have to assume. I mean, they are smart cookies when it comes to the. When it comes to some of this stuff, and I'll bet they're going to be experimenting with pricing and all this stuff. They're just going to jump on the initial, cash in your $50 while everybody's wanting to play it right away.
They're going to charge $50 to take advantage of the people who are willing to pay $50. And once all those people have paid for the game, they'll lower the $40. Yeah, it's business, whatever.
If even one person, buys it at $50, then you might as well sell it to them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. And then Doom's God 1990 here said he just wants to keep an eye on the modding community for the game. And hell yeah, that's what wrestling is on PC for.
That's going to be really interesting to see what if they tap into any of that stuff, any of the Steamworks or anything like that. Like I said, it's clear to me like they pretty much just ported this thing to PC really quickly and got it out the door. But it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to support any of the Steamworks stuff.
I don't know. I mean, that's, they had that big blow up with Steam and paid mods for Skyrim over the last few days, and Valve just pulled that like today, right? They killed it one day later. So, what's going to happen with the modding community? I don't know. All I know is that Pro Wrestling X, we just want to give everybody complete access to everything they want to mod in the game and go friggin' nuts, So, we're not going to put up any barriers or walls to modding the game if we can help it, That's what I think, anyway. That's my opinion.
I think we broke a viewer count for us here, a record for us tonight. I think we made it all the way up to 17 concurrent viewers, which I think is a record for us.
Well, hell, man.
Minor victory, but hey, we'll take steady growth. They've been getting bigger every time.
Hey, well, when we're showing new moves to prove we actually had some crap in the game, it's all good.
Yeah, you notice how I said I think putting that on Facebook helped, and then just having if people can see this kind of stuff on a screen instead of just looking at us talking. God, that's stupid.
To show people we're working on stuff, man, and also we can show them where it's still broken and why we haven't made the update live. It's just not ready for prime time, right? So we're coming right along, man. Coming right along. I've got about another 15 minutes, and I got to bail here on you guys. But I actually have to bail for 1 minute now. I'm going to hop off, and I'll be right back. Don't burn the place down while I'm gone.
No, we're good.
I'll be right back.
Watching Alex work.
Yeah, I'm working hard here, actually. I'm kind of just
it's good.
Around.
But, no, dude, this is important stuff because people haven't seen a lot of this stuff. And I think there's probably a few people here.
I'm going to have this guy a boxing match, I think.
I'm a fan of striking.
Whoa. Yeah, man.
We got a big fight this weekend, so I'll watch it. Get ourselves in the mood for some boxing. Hey, we're at 19 viewers now.
There's a bug here. Like, watch when I punch him in the face. See, like, you see his
stomach
pop up for a moment.
Well, and it looks like he sells like you hit him in the stomach. Hang on.
That's the No Mercy head cell.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But, I know. Yeah,
awesome.
It is kind of weird that he bends forward. But I can't. I'm gonna have to talk to Mike.
Why is he bending forward for the head cell? Yeah.
Well, it's like you're hitting down on the guy. Like if you see it, it's not that, you know, that the cell is not that off, but it looks like you're hitting him in the stomach, kind of like he's kind of buckling over, and probably without like true hit detection and the different body parts. That's probably going to have to be the way it is for a while, but it's not that bad. I guess
I can make a different one. I probably should have. I kind of No Mercy had a cell like this, where he kind of like dropped his head and his hands fell. So I just kind of did that. But I know what you guys mean. Yeah, his head could snap back instead, you know. But ideally, it'd be nice to have a few of these so that if you hit him in succession, he's not doing the same shit over and over again.
Somebody just mentioned in chat that if we create a female wrestler in our creative wrestler, we'll have another feature over 2K15. And I think we mentioned this a few times about females in Pro Wrestling X. Our last game that we did, kind of our little tech demo we released, Pro Wrestling X Uprising a couple years ago, had a female wrestler in it. And if you look at that, you'll see why we aren't doing that. Again, we simply had a female, body type kind of slapped on top of the male skeleton and rig sharing animations, which worked, but honestly made the lady wrestler move like a dude, and that's no good. So when we add females to Pro Wrestling X, they will be actually built from the ground up to be proper females.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, we do have to build a new rig for them to get them to look the best, but we can still share moves because of mechanics.
Yeah.
Because of the generic rig in Unity. Which is,
and these are going to be female wrestlers. They're not divas. We take the female wrestling seriously. There's, we respect that heavily.
Yeah, no bra and panties match in Pro Wrestling X unless somebody mods it. Another question: are any of us previous wrestlers? No, sir.
No, not even close. I am 6'3" and I am a $180 on my best day. There's no way in hell. I am a skinny mofo. There's no way in hell I could have survived a bump at all.
Yeah, I mean, I've never even been in a wrestling ring.
I got to tell you though, my bucket list goal, and I swear to God, this is absolutely true. I want to be a ref someday. That's all that's the extent to which I want to be involved with wrestling. I want to be a referee at some point. I want to referee a match. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen. I don't know what circumstance will allow it for me to happen, but that is the goal. I want to be a ref in this game too, to be honest.
That would be cool, man. My knees will only allow me to maybe be a manager one day. That'd be cool.
You're gonna have to be like, you're just gonna be like, I don't know, man. You'd have to be a wrestler. You have to have some kind of a cane.
It's a hell of a kick out, man.
Love that body slam. I love that body slam.
The body slam is and again, like we have the same.
It's close, but if you slow it down, if you push the minus key or whatever to slow the animation down, he's like holding him up by his crotch. Like it's kind of like, I don't know. It's a weird.
Well,
I know that some of that's just alignments, but
Yeah, it's all
you kind of mentioned a little Easter egg there that no one's really found before, but if anyone has played Pro Wrestling X here on Steam, this should still work. So please don't be mad at me if I tell you this is in the game and it doesn't work anymore. I don't know if it survived any of the updates, but if you press the plus or minus keys in game, you'll actually slow down or speed up the actual pace of the game.
Whoa! It came down from the rafters.
I love Jedi wrestling.
So yeah, if you press the plus or minus key, Jesus, you can change the speed of the game. Give it a shot. It's kind of cool.
Hey guys, we are not afraid. You can say what you want. We are not afraid to show you guys this stuff.
Nope. We make our own goddamn glitch videos for YouTube, man.
That's right.
God. This used to happen a lot, actually.
I was going to say, it's actually become so much better. It used to be really bad. It used to be the Force Jedi Brainbuster, where you're able to like levitate and drop him on his head from like far away from across the ring. That was always a hoot.
Or if you punched a guy too close, you would hop up on his knees and hump his face. That was always good.
Yeah, because it said for the most part they're staying inside the ring. That's been a nice thing.
That's actually been one of my pet peeves in State Line, man, is the rope collision. It's such a friggin' base necessity, and we're still breaking it in this day and age.
Well, but even because the rope physics and all that stuff, I think it's going to be a whole different thing in general. Like I think that's going to be a thing. Like I said, maybe Mike's got a solution for all that stuff, or he's got something that's going to be the perfect plan for that stuff. But I'm willing to bet rope physics are a lot harder than they look.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was a programmer, I'd have an opinion. I just wish it worked better. Oh, this is awesome. What do you call this?
This is the stun.
That's the state. That's the dazed and confused. That's when you get.
If you pick a dude up, and I wonder if I have that animation in here. Yeah. So after you pick a dude up from the ground, he's kind of dazed for a time. So we'll be.
Whoa! Back up a sec here. We've got the pickup animation, but it hasn't been imported to the game, has it?
I'm looking for it now. I may.
Like you can't do it.
right
Yeah.
now.
So just so people know, like that's one of the next steps we were working on is you do a move to a guy and he's lying there, but you got to be able to do something to him. So we added the strike to the guy lying down, and then we wanted to be able to pick him up. So if you nail a guy and he's lying down and you go to pick him up back into a standing idle, we wanted it to be possible for the guy to kind of be a little stunned for a couple seconds, so you could, beat snot out of him some more. And there's some other special ideas.
Well, that's just part of the game flow. I mean, that's like just that is something you expect to do. You knock him down, you pick him up, you do your next move, you kind of chain it that way.
Yeah. This is the sort of the defender animation that flows into that dazed state. So imagine, and again, we don't have it wired up, so you have to imagine this guy is picking the dude up, and he's coming up like this, and then you can almost see. You can see the last frame, where the last frame of this animation is the first frame of the daze, and so he'll be dazed for a moment.
Dazed and confused.
Yeah, you got her.
Sometimes it's just kind of fun to look at, like, this is like Mime Pro Wrestling X.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're going to do a mime workshop, and we're going to do like an improvise, where I want you to pick up an imaginary wrestler. Okay.
No problem. Yeah, let's use Pro Wrestling X for that.
Pro Wrestling X, the
This
mime
guy looks
version.
just, like, drunk and energetic. He's all by himself.
You know what's great about
But
this,
yeah.
though, man? The people who are watching this now, what we're showing, when we actually get to the point where it's just a nicely working 1.0 Kickstarter deliverable, they'll be able to appreciate just how much more had to be done to get to that point when they see where we're coming from,
Well, and just how much
It's,
work there is just tying all these loose ends together. I mean, like I said, it's fun watching these animations
All those
in
things,
action.
you look at that list of animations along the side there, and that's just to freaking move around and exist in the ring, like you do a couple of attacks and that's it,
It is absolutely astonishing when you sit there and you try to do the math over, and then try to keep all that organized and try to keep all that stuff just straight. I mean, this is legitimately hard stuff. And people have no idea. I mean, you think about something like a Fire Pro Wrestling that's got, thousands of moves for some of these things, and it's just astonishing to me, like the amount of assets, the amount of animations that had to go into all this stuff, and we want to get there, but geez,
And that's what bugs me too. Like when people pick on, you pick on a guy like Matt Dickey when they're like, "Oh man, he's still using the same animations from however long ago." Well, my God, like if you wanted the guy to reboot his animations with every game, it's completely unrealistic. I mean, again, I go back. If you look at Pro Wrestling X Uprising and how many animations were in that game, a decent amount, but that was at least one full-time animator for a year just doing
and
animations.
we still tried to reuse those. It's just the technology was just the gap in dev time was just too great.
Yeah, exactly, right. Well, I was I'm all for the complete reboot. I was happy to leave the Uprising stuff behind, it was it was more of an anchor than a than anything else, you know.
Joe in chat, to answer your question, yes, all this stuff goes up to a cloud service. It's called source control, where like multiple programmers can work on a. He was worried that what happens if like somebody's hard drive crashes and you guys don't lose all this stuff, right? It's like, nope. We've addressed that. Basically, there's kind of like the source code is in the cloud, and then individual programmers, animators, whoever can download a piece of software that checks the most recent stuff. They can modify their end of it, upload it, and then the software automatically rolls it all into the same build so that multiple people can be working on all that stuff. So yeah, we're good there. Hey, 21 viewers, it's a new record.
Yeah. Also, we mentioned we were good. I have to wrap up here in a little while. I don't know if you guys want to keep going.
I should as well, actually.
Yeah, as I said, it's going to be midnight here Eastern, so.
Just want to keep everybody informed. You know, if you were one of the Kickstarter backers who got in on the early bird stuff or whatever, you were invited to submit your voice doing crowd chants to add to the game when we add the crowd stuff. And just wanted everybody to know, if you hadn't already read it in newsletter, but we finished the audio template file for the crowd chants, the first batch that we're going to use, and we're just in the middle of getting that file put somewhere where the people who are entitled to get it can get it. And then we'll have some instructions for how you can, you know, chant along with Dave into your smartphone or computer or whatever, record the file, send it to us, we'll chop it all up, and hopefully we'll have a nice batch of crowd chants featuring Pro Wrestling X friends, family, and you know,
I think that's going to be, I think the entertainment value on that, I cannot wait to hear what we get back, because I'd also like to tell them to just like cut loose and just come up with any cheer they want, and I'm just dying to see what they come up with.
I like the individual, just, you know, freaking taunts from the crowd. You know, I'd love to have people like contribute stuff like that. You know,
Ralph, we're working on getting sound and music. That's coming. These are all things that we've got. We've got a few striking type sounds recorded. I couldn't remember where we left off, like what if we were happy with the quality of some of that stuff or not. But we've got some at least placeholder sounds, and we've got people working on music and all that kind of stuff too. So
yeah, we got a lot of stuff in there coming down the pipeline here. So adding audio just in general is probably going to be an update in its own, because when the audio comes in, it'll be music, sound effects, and all that stuff. And then the crowd itself, while not as important as, you know, getting our core game mechanics polished up, you know, we laugh along at all these funny glitches and stuff, but they seriously need to be eliminated and fixed, you know, from this game.
Well, so we're just showing people how the sausage is made. I mean, that's the thing. This every video game in the history of video games has had a stage at which it is just completely laughable, and you wouldn't even believe how awful it is. And so, you know, we're just not afraid to show the warts, you know.
Oh yeah, I was talking to well, this is years ago, mind you, but the producer of WCW Mayhem for, you know, I think it was N64 at the time. You remember that game, Mayhem?
Yes, I do remember that one.
Sure.
Yeah, it was a precursor to Backstage Assault, right? And even he said, he was like, a week before the game went gold, it was an unplayable mess, you know? And of course the joke was a week after it was released.
Just going to say, because, you know, so much changed after that week.
But yeah, it comes down to the wire, man. You know, I haven't been in a lot of different, you know, developer studios to see what they've been doing, but it's terrifying.
Well, I can always tell you that the rule of thumb, at least, and I would imagine in game development as it is with web development, that 90% of the work is done in the last 10% of the time. That's always kind of, at least that's always kind of the joke anyway. And it's because it is tying up all the loose ends and trying to discover all the bugs, and then like trying to, you know, figure all just what that one stupid little bug is just takes forever to figure out. So, you know, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I had a blast doing the Twitch this time, you guys.
Yeah, sorry we got started a little late here tonight, but you know, like I said, I think keep those questions coming. We're going to try to shoot for these for every Tuesday. So if you're in here, we're trying to shoot for Tuesdays at 10 Eastern to come on and keep showing you more progress with all this stuff, and it slowly takes shape. And ProWrestlingX.com, we've got a weekly newsletter that goes out every Friday via email. Dave has written one every God, last 13 years, however long it is.
Oh,
And keeping it up to date on the latest and greatest. We're on Twitter at Pro Wrestling X, Facebook Pro Wrestling X, all that fun stuff. Like our channel here, and you can get alerts whenever we go live. So
Got to get on the Tumblr now. That's what we got to do.
yeah, did you just call it the Tumblr?
The Tumblr.
Yeah, you're so hip, Dave.
I know. Sorry, I'm high on the marijuana right now.
super social media guy.
Well, hey, here's a
Okay,
quick question.
guys.
Will you
Oh,
guys
sure.
remake the arena that was used on Pro Wrestling X Uprising, the Hammerlock? He's asking
I would say so.
Someday.
Eventually, but you know what? The Hammerlock, when it comes back, it's gonna be its own character. I think in the game, I want people to properly be able to jump off that balcony and pull railings off the stairs to beat people with, and exit those doors into the parking lot and run people over. It's gonna be. When the Hammerlock comes back, it's going to be a beast. So not for a while. We got to get action in the ring working well first.
Yep. So,
So thanks for the question.
Yeah, Alex, why don't you hang out for like another 2 minutes? We're going to get you up to some speed on some stuff, and then I'm going to stop streaming here.